praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Ha-Rakah Kodash, double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abab ball. So I have a co-worker that's a Jake, Southern Kingdom, and he was bragging the other day about how he's going to grow dreads. And he said, I'm going to be like Jesus and have dreads. And I said, who the fuck wants to look like Jesus? And I asked him, I said, for real, do you want to look like Jesus? And he shook his head, no. All right, which, it triggered me in my mind through the Spirit, to think and to examine that answer, because he said that, nobody wants to look like Jesus. Nobody wants to look like a weak, effeminate, so-called white man. Even when I was young, I didn't know the truth in the time. I learned it as a man. But when I was a young, probably like a teen, preteen, I remember thinking to myself, thank God I'm not white. Which they're not white, they're red. Or, different shades of red. But their biblical name is Edom. They're the devil, the Bible speaks of, the so-called Caucasian. All right, but once again, I must remind you that you have Israelites that look like so-called Caucasians, because we were able to mix amongst the nations and take their women and put our seed inside them. And so our children will come out looking like the other nations. All right? But nobody wants to look, that's an Israelite, whether they know they're Israelite or not, really like a so-called white man. There's really nobody that really wants to look like white Jesus. All right? Because that's a weak, effeminate look. But like I said, when I was younger, I never believed in this image, because I always thought Caucasians were weak looking, and the Lord had me think that, because we know there's no free will. It's not because I was so fucking intelligent, but what I was thinking was correct, that there is no strength, there is no power, all right, but wickedness in this so-called white man. All right, and most of them are homosexuals. All right, most of them are psychopath, serial killers. All right, there's not the so-called white man is greatly despised. It says that in Obadiah, in the book of Obadiah, which I did a sit down on this verse. You can go check it out. It's the vision of Obadiah. But it says in Obadiah, verse 1, the vision of Obadiah, which Obadiah was a northern kingdom Israelite that was prophesying of Edom and their destruction. Thus saith the supreme power Yahweh concerning Edom. So this is concerning the so-called white race that goes back to Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, so the report from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen, which the other nations are rising up against America in war. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The so-called white man is hated amongst all the nations. I even had an Edomite at my job, pretty much come up to me and also say the same that this scripture is saying. He's an Edomite, and he said, why do they hate us white Americans? Because I traveled to Asia, and when I was over there, there was a so-called Caucasian people that were wearing I'm not Joe. Okay, I'm not Joe on their shirt. And I was asking the Filipinos why he was wearing that, and they said they don't want to be recognized as an American Edomite. All right, they're fine being known as Australian and all these other things, But even there, they're being revealed as devils and conquistadors and thieves and murderers and rapists and kidnappers and human traffickers, right? But really in America's really being revealed for their evil because it's Babylon the Great who are to be destroyed. All right? And so America, really the so-called white American, is greatly despised. All right? Nobody really believes that there's any strength in the so-called white man anymore. All right? And that's why they're looking for, power in Russia, because Putin is trying to be that new symbol of power, right, to the so-called white race. But the white hope is over, all right? The so-called white hopes are over because the truth is coming out that you're the son of perdition, all right? You're vile and you're going to be destroyed, all right? And that's why you got people leaving America and going back to their own countries, all right? Because they're learning that this American dream is nothing but bullshit, and really it's a nightmare, all right? It's a nightmare on Elm Street, okay? And I'll show you an example of this.
I believe there's so many pedophiles in the U.S. That it's beyond not safe anymore. And that's why we've started this new initiative, starting with a think tank. And then we've just started a task force. And it's, people can find it on our website. We call it the Pedophile Hunter Fund, where we won't take any government money. We're privately funded. And doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Christian, atheist, Buddhist, doesn't matter. We're coming for you.
Show about serial killers, and it said that the average person will walk by 11 murderers in their lifetime. And that got me thinking, which country has the most serial killers? Because obviously the average person there's exposure is going to be a little bit different. In 10th place, we have Russia with 73 convicted serial killers. 9th place is India with 80. 8th place is Australia with 81. 7th is Germany with 85. 6th is Japan with 96. 5th place is Italy with 97. 4th place is Canada with the first triple-digit country with 106 serial killers. 3rd place is South Africa with 117. 2nd place is England with 166. And I'm not even surprised by this, but 1st place is the United States of America with 3,204 convicted serial killers. What are we doing wrong?